Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Toonkind at 12 frames per second. I am Authenticity. I will be playing the TikTok Chicken, also known as TOC. I am joined by my delightful friend.
Hello, I'm GP Kieran, DWP, and I'm gonna be joined by my delightful other friend who is playing with me today, and they're wonderful and lovely, and I love them very much. The wonderful author. I almost called you Comet because your name is Comet on the thing. I was like, no, that's not Comet. That is not Comet. Do not say it. Hey, no.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I'm here, author is here, and we're gonna do some queer shit.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
I guess this is going on recording, but we forgot to ping.
Oh, yeah, we should probably
forgot
do
to alert
that.
the other people on the server that what we're doing. Hang on.
We're professionals.
What did we call this? Less collateral damage? There we go.
Yes, let's collateral damage. Okay, there we go. We're really good at this, people. We're good at this. I know, Magic. I know. We are both typing. There we go. There we are.
You know what? This is the level of professionalism and suavity that I think the servers come to expect from us.
If you dare expect any level of speed and efficiency from any single person on this server, oh boy, howdy, you guys are in for a disappointing time, or you've not been listening for very long. If you want,
God, no one's on after us, right?
No,
because we're taking a long time to do everything. And I love that for us.
That is a good question. I don't know.
Okay, there's someone on at 5 EST, and it's 3:30 now.
We're fine.
So yeah, we're fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
We'll keep rolling. Also, basically,
God.
we should probably tell people recording what the hell we're doing.
Well, this is an FPS.
Yes, it is.
Which is sort of like a D&D, but played with two people. No, actually. I said that I was playing TOC, right? Right. And you're playing?
I mean, who the hell else have I been playing lately but my three-headed moron? It's Eenie Miney and Mo, ladies and gentlemen. You know them. You might love them. You might hate them. I don't actually know what the public opinion on them is at the moment. And at the moment, they hoping you love them because you should love heroes, and that's what they are. They are heroes, guys. You know that. They know that.
Gosh.
Yeah. So, what are we gonna yeah, how are we gonna set this up? Author, did you want to set this up, or do you want me to set this up?
I think that we're not actually in Toontown for once. We are. We're sort of in one of the the rural or suburbs of Toontown.
Yeah.
There's how there's a city, and then there's sort of the long spiraling arms of the city, sort of stretching out across. And then you have to drive another 25 minutes, and then you get to some bedroom communities. We're in a bedroom community.
Oh, you're describing my childhood right there.
Actually, that's where same.
Mood. Mood. Okay, so we're out the outskirts of Toontown then. We ain't in the busy, bustling town centre. We are probably along a quieter stretch of road, or roads, as it were.
Well, we're not that far from civilization. We're sort of on the edge of a downtown. There's lots of trees around. There's a lot of older, very genteel sort of houses.
Yeah.
And we follow, one of the residential roads, and tucked sort of almost away from the hustle and bustle of the village is a building that looks like a church, but it's been renovated. It's been like there's new siding. There's there's still stained glass, but like the stained glass is a little bit different. And it says Kirchhoff Public Library. And this is based off the actual library in my actual town, which is the coolest little building ever. So I have given this to you.
Love it. That's canon now. That is Toonkind canon. Congratulations. Yeah. So that's where we are at.
And outside of sorry.
No, sorry, my brain's bit. My brain's bit. Keep going, ignore me. I'm just gonna shut up. You go ahead.
Professionalism. So outside of the building is sort of like this not necessarily a park, but like it's sort of a shady, grassy area. Like there's a couple picnic benches, and today there is probably at least 8 or 12 different plastic tables that have been set up. And one of those very dinky plastic like whiteboard signs that says book sale, and there's some balloons.
Yay!
And sure enough, there are all sorts of books laid out outside of the library for people to peruse. They're all marked, 25 cents, 50 cents, or I suppose it would be like 1 copper, 2 copper. Like, you could get as many books as you wanted for like under $10. And we sort of we trace over this very peaceful sort of tableau, and we follow one of the tables, and then we sort of duck underneath it, and very low to the ground, sort of having trouble looking at all of the books because they're up high on the top of the table, is a little real kind looking chicken with angry eyebrows and little grandma glasses. And I think the very first thing I want them to do is they're enjoying this this book sale is make a perception check.
Cool. Yeah, please do that. Actually, I need to do. Should I make a roll for this? No, they won't make a roll for this. There's no need for a roll for this. You go ahead and roll as you like. Oh, you want me to make a perception check?
I'm making a perception check to find you.
Okay.
That's a 15. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard not to see a very tall, three-headed figure. Kind of just, it's a bit weird. They almost look like they're pacing along the rows of these tables and looking at, kind of squinting at these books as they go along. Well, you see Miney and sorry, give me a second. You see Eenie and Miney walking along and squinting at these books. You can't tell if Mo's squinting because, again, Mo's got a very big shaggy head of hair. You can't tell if he's looking at anything. But you do see Eenie and Miney are squinting at these books, and you do hear a kind of sort of like a hum coming from like a sort of noise as they're trotting along. And I've got a roll. Oh, that's your mod, please. Do me a grand favor. And no, okay, fine. Cool. You see them kind of pace up and down these rows. They go basically from one row to the next, and they just kind of, as they do, they kind of like, they're not really watching where they're going. They're just sort of like looking very intently at these books, and as they do, they kind of like they accidentally kind of knock a few people over, and they're not like a mouse deer toon who's about, I would say, 3.5 foot tall, and they're just like trying to reach up and grab one of these books, and as this very tall leg comes by and kind of just knocks them over by accident, and they say, "Okay," and they turn around and glare at Eenie Miney and Mo as they walk by, and Eenie and Miney are too busy looking at these books to notice, but Mo turns back and says, "Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to. I'm really sorry. We're doing important investigation business. Really sorry." And they just stalk down the rows, looking. Yeah, just looking very intently at these books.
Well, I think TOC definitely heard they're on important investigation business, which is good because the last time that they interacted with these overgrown toddlers, they failed to deduce that this was a real chicken and not part of an exhibit, and freaked themselves out so badly they broke the entire museum.
Yeah, they did kind of try to like put you in a Tupperware box, didn't they? They did do that. They did
They
do
sure
that.
did.
So from your position underneath the table, I believe, you kind of also you just see they're actually slowly making their way towards where you're at. So that they started off probably further away near the entrance of the entrance of this book sale. They just sort of going along the tables, the picnic tables, having a look. And they are slowly coming up to where you're at.
Well, here's the question, because let's see how much of a bastard this terrible little chicken wants to be today.
Yes, please do.
Let's see, are they in grandpa mode or are they in little chaotic bastard mode? Let's flip a D2. I'm going to say 2 is bastard.
Who's bastard?
Oh.
Bastard mode activated.
Oh, that's quite a treat. Okay. So they're underneath the table. I think I'm going to have them roll a stealth check to see.
I'm not gonna roll against this. I'm just gonna see if you beat my passive perception.
Yeah, you will be shocked to hear that this. Well, they're not terrible at stealth, apparently.
Give it a go.
Oh, it's a 13. It's above a 10.
You have just made it past the passive perception, man. So it.
Oh, they're at 12?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, bless. Oh, these poor dear Branders. Okay.
Look, they are very busy focusing. Clearly, they are on a mission, and they are strutting very seriously up and down these picnic tables, looking very intently at all of these books, as they do with a sort of noise as they go up and down, you know. And they wouldn't notice you as they probably come up to you, or at least come up nearby you. If you want, I don't know what you want to do as they're coming up towards you, because they have not noticed or stopped to notice you.
Well, I'm looking through their stuff because.
Oh gosh. What are you gonna do to them? I'll say while you're thinking, whilst you're thinking, you see, kind of will notice that they have kind of sort of just stopped a little bit away from them, and you just see the thudding of their foot, just thudding against the floor, and you can roll another perception if you want.
Sure.
Whilst you're deciding what to do. When did you get that
this chick.
When did you get
Okay, first of all, their wisdom is wonderful. They have proficiency in perception. Plus, they have another +3 from the lens of the eagle that they got and Enter the Graveyard. So, accidentally, the chicken broke.
Oh, accidental broken chicken. Oh my word, that's brilliant. No, that's good though. I love that. Okay, so with that perception, you can clearly hear them muttering something under their breath. No, Eenie, we've got to save up our money for, the thing. No, Eenie, we can't have that one. It's just, look, it's not exactly expensive. This is only $1 or so. Yeah, I know, Eenie, but we can't exactly, just willy-nilly spend at the moment. We're looking for, the thing. We can't spend it on just random stuff. Oh, you two are such loud. Let me have a bit of fun. And you just hear them muttering to themselves as they seem to be debating about purchasing a book.
Would a 24 reveal to them which book?
With the perception of 24, absolutely. You can kind of see. Probably you might have been here a little bit earlier, TOC, when this was all starting to get set up and such. And you've perused through these books, and you kind of know where stuff is at the moment, but you know from where they're standing, and you know from kind of the position they're leaning over the table and the shadow they're casting. You can kind of imply from the the position of the book atop above you or above where they're standing. That is actually that's actually like old home design books, like interior decorating books. And you also think there might have been like a few like fashion books spread out nearby it as well. From what you could tell, you're pretty damn certain that they're looking at like interior design books.
Okay, any one in particular?
You know, you do remember there was a name. Of this book. Let me just give me just a moment. I need to think of one on the fly. Called. Oh, brain, come on. No, I can't think of one. I'm sorry, my brain's gone.
Terrible Interiors. Wait, no, it's called Terrible Interiors. Designs for the Melee class.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah. That's gotta be what it's called. They're looking at that particular book and you just hear them kind of arguing like, no, Eenie, we can't buy that. Besides, it's not like we can actually decorate the place anyway. Yeah, I mean, you saw it the last time we did something with it. Well, I mean, that wasn't exactly intentional or on purpose, was it? And we cleaned it up afterwards. Well, yeah, we did clean it up. But that's not the point. It's not our place technically to clean up now, is it? And also, we got to save our money for the other thing. Yeah, you know that. They just keep talking.
How high of stealth would this chicken have to roll to swipe that book from underneath him?
How high? Well, I would need to roll a how high of an attention span are they paying, because they are still talking amongst themselves. So let me just kind of. Right, I'm gonna roll perception and see how that goes. Well, you have to get above a 10. Think you could do that?
Alright. In that case, I'm gonna roll another stealth. Would it be stealth or sleight of hand?
I'll go with your stealth from earlier. This would probably be sleight of hand, because your stealth is already like 13 in decent enough.
Yeah, well, actually, their sleight of hand is the same deck, so.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, then just roll again, I guess. Oh.
Wow. All right. This is all right.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
I mean, they're not going to stop. I think that they tick, 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 tick with their little legs over. And I think one of the heads, you can decide which, looks over in the middle of arguing just in time to see a little chicken head peek over the table and swipe the book.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna roll a d3, see which one it is. Mo. Of course it's Mo. Somehow, despite the fact that Mo, you don't know if Mo can actually see through that shaggy bound of hair that he has going on. He sees you just slowly do the chicken people, whoop, and then you kind of almost lock eyes, except you can't tell again if you've got eyes through that shaggy hair. And you just very slowly reach out and take the book. You slide it towards you, and Mo is not saying anything or doing anything. He's just watching you as you do this. And as you take this book and pop off the side, Mo's just gonna sort of stare at where you were as Eenie and Miney keep arguing. And then he's gonna slowly turn his head towards them both and say, Eenie, Miney. Up now, we're busy doing things. Yes, Mo, we're busy. Don't start. The book's gone.
Actually, I would like to just, while this is happening, because I think that they're going to be extremely quick about this because they do want to come back and do something with the book. They run over to the jar, they slam 5 copper so that people don't ask questions into the jar and then run back.
Okay.
But this conversation can be happening while they're doing that.
Okay, yeah, no,
But at some point, they look back up, and the chicken is there, effectively, like, holding the book above their little chicken head.
Oh my god. Okay, so Mo turns to Eenie and Miney and says, the book's gone. And Eenie and Miney say, the book's not gone, don't be ridiculous, the book's right there. They point towards TOC and say, see, they've got the book, wait a second. And they had to turn towards you, TOC, with a, hang on a second, wait a picking moment. And I'm going to roll a history because if they failed this, that would be... Oh, they got no modifier. Oh, lovely, lads, come on. That's a 2! They don't know. They don't know who this random chicken is.
I would like to just, like... I feel like they... Well, okay, I guess they only met them once. Fine.
Do you want me to roll again? Do you want me to roll again and see what happens?
Advantage.
Let's do it. 9.
A 9.
Okay, so...
Maybe a tad familiar. You know you've seen them before.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
And this... Go
ahead.
This hauntingly familiar chicken smiles at you very impishly and does a magician's flourish, and suddenly the book has gone into their hammer space.
Eenie is gonna look this chicken dead in the eye, and you're gonna see quite a nasty glare appear on his face, and he's going to very slowly lean his neck and head over the table until it's hovering just in front of your face, TOC. And he's going to say, if you know what's good for you, you're going to want to put that back. And he's going to roll intimidation. Which... 13.
What would they roll to contest?
I suppose they would roll either charisma or a whiz save.
I'm gonna say whiz save.
Alright.
Oh, come on. Let me in. Let me in.
Let him in.
I don't want a thread. Why am I making a thread? Discord, please.
Let Author in, Discord. Let him in.
Yeah.
Hey.
A 19.
Oh man, you.
This chicken grandpa looks you dead in the eye and they... Correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't know Toonkind, right?
They do not.
So they're not going to, I think they hold up a page in their notebook, which has already been written on, because they anticipated this, or they've had to say this in the past, but they said, it says fuck around and find out. And then they start booking it.
Oh, shit. Alright. For a solid, 5 seconds, you're just running off, and Eenie Miney and Mo are just stock still, and then Eenie very slowly turns towards the other and says, well, boys, I think we've got a runner. Yeah, I think you know what we gotta do here, don't you, fellas? Oh, fellas, no, come on now, come on. It's supposed to be a nice day out. You're just supposed to have a look at some books. Oh, we were looking at books. Oh, we were looking at books, Mo. And then that little, chicken? It was a chicken, wasn't it? Yes, it's a chicken, Mo. Yes, chicken. That little chicken decided to take a book that we wanted. And that's not going to fly. And they're going to spin on their heel and they're going to book it after you. I am going to roll something here.
I have a question while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Eenie Miney and Mo is a flightless bird, correct?
Yeah, no, they can't fly. They are, they're based on Dodrio, which is the Pokemon XP, and whilst that Pokemon can learn fly, they don't have wings, so in this...
Yeah, they look kind of like a kiwi that just kept going.
Yes, they're a big old ostrich.
Gosh, okay, I mean, chickens do have... TFC doesn't have, like, a flying speed, but, like, they can, flap, flap, flap.
Gliding
Like,
speed.
to get on, say, a barn roof. Not that we've had to deal with that.
Gosh.
Don't ask. So I think they're going to look around for a pine tree. A very tall pine tree, the sort.
Yes.
And they're going to... Oh, hang on. Hello. Oh, thank you, bud. I love you a whole bunch.
Love you too.
Oh, god damn it. My mute button just isn't working today.
Did you tell him that we love his scarf?
Yeah, one sec. Fine.
It's important for people listening. We have we have heard of the fabled author sibling and their wonderful stuff.
And they like it.
And it's imperative that he knows that his stuff is in fact fantastic.
He gave an extremely awkward thumbs up, and he said that he likes you guys' faces.
Oh man, thank you very much, author sibling. Man, what a shout out to get! Man, I'm full of good vibes. Good vibes. I hold that thumb up, and I hope that thumb up gives me luck, because I might peck and need it with the way that TOC's just kind of flutter jump up this pine tree. I'm gonna have to roll. I'm gonna roll perception and see how long it takes them to find out where the hell you've gone, because they did spend a good 5 seconds just standing there, and then they had that's a dirty 20. They are in fact Eenie Miney and Mo are rangers. They're not rangers for no reason.
Yeah.
So quite easily.
Believe it or not, they're good at their job.
I mean, that depends on who you ask. Yeah, they certainly know how to track down a chicken, flutter jumping all over the place, and then flutter jumping up a tree. These guys track your progress almost immediately and head off very quickly. And I'm gonna roll something here because let's do that. I'm gonna roll.
TAC is going to just sort of settle themselves on one of the upper branches in sort of a little potato shape, just sort of roosting there, very satisfied. And they're going to ready in action as soon as Eenie Miney and Mo get probably about 3/4 of the way up the tree. They're going to roll acrobatics to sort of flutter off and into the branches of a tree adjacent.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the thing I rolled, that was an athletics roll to see if they knocked over any tables or people. They rolled an 8.
Oh boy.
Sadly, they do kind of like knock a table and it wobbles a little bit and it looks like it's gonna teeter over. But the sheep toon there just kind of catches it and says, "Hey, stop running around!" And as they keep running after you, they bump and they just about miss by like a toe clipped breath. They just about miss clipping the head of a little goblin toon who goes, "Hey, get out of the way with your mind? Stop running around the place. This is a bookshop, this is a book sale, not a freaking sports field. As they keep running after you, and then they make their way over to the tree eventually, dodging past these many obstacles they've made for themselves. And as they're doing this, I would like to say that Mo's going, oh, sorry, we're just trying to, someone's nicked something, we're just trying to, sorry. And get to the tree.
They paid.
Huh?
They paid for the book. I think they actually.
I know that.
They didn't make. I think that actually one of the librarians actually looks up like, excuse me, and they signed, I paid, you can ask the cashier, and the cashier goes, yeah, they paid. I got, they hold up the jar like demonstratively, and so they're like, oh, okay, well, have fun. Please don't destroy our building.
You speak, they kind of stop and they look at each other, look at you and say, oh, they paid for it, right? Okay, so they did pay for it then. Right, okay.
They would have. I would advocate that they have to roll to see if they overheard this conversation.
All
because
right.
one.
Roll perception. That's a 12.
You can decide. Yeah, it's above a 10.
I will say that Mo will have heard this in passing because Mo is unfortunately the common sense head at the moment, and Mo hears in passing that they have actually paid for the book. It wasn't nicked, and just because you wanted to buy it doesn't mean you can nick it from someone who's already paid it. And he's going to turn towards the other two and say, fellas, they've actually already paid for that one. You can't actually. What do you mean they've already paid for it? They haven't paid for it. We saw him nick it off the table. Yes, Mo, we're just going to, reacquire it. And I mean, who steals from a book sale anyway? That thing's worth like what, a copper? Who would steal a copper's worth book? Honestly, only a downright fool is who. And they make their way. They run over towards the tree and they look up, and the Victorians say, Mo's gonna say, Miney's gonna say, so you've decided to corner yourself up there now, have you, little chick? Unfortunately for you, climbing up a tree isn't going to stop us from seizing you and bringing you in. And I'm actually gonna, I will roll acrobatics here and see how well this goes. That's a 12 again. Okay. So they do a little shimmy, like they just sort of crouch down. They do like a little butt wiggle shimmy goes up their body, and Mo's just saying, "Oh, fellas, please don't!" And they would jump and they cling onto the side of this trunk with their claws, and they scrape down just a little bit. Like it takes a little readjustment for them to get their hold, but eventually they do, and they just kind of fling themselves up to the next branch, which shakes a little underneath their weight, and they steady until it stops. And then they jump again to the next branch, and eventually it takes a little while because again they are a heavy bird, and this is a pine tree, and not really supposed to be the kind of bird that nests in this thing or holds its weight. So this thing jumps and jumps and jumps until it is about 2 branches below you, TOC, and you're like, you got nowhere to run now, have you, fella? Yeah, you might as well come down before this thing.
Okay, well, I'll say that does it. You are about to look up triumphant because this little bird has obviously trapped themselves. There's no way that they could escape. And then you look up and they're just, flap, 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 all the way down into the lower branches of a different tree. And they just kind of look back at you like, mm-hmm.
Cool.
And I think they actually, they turn and they, sweep a wing across their body and they give you a bow.
Oh, wow. I've got to roll something here. Give me a sec. Let me roll.
Actually, I'm also going to roll something.
If you want.
Sure, I'll roll an insight.
When the hell did you guys get that? Okay. When that happened, but I'll roll with it. Oh, man.
Oh, dear.
That's a nat 1.
And that's a 25.
The discrepancy here is truly beautiful. So you don't have to you don't even have to like make an effort to see that these three are clearly a little dumbfounded looking at you, and you actually surprised to see it, but you do think, there's like a little bit of respect in their faces, like, all right, okay, you're not just a one trick cook, all right. And you see them blink, and you see them kind of look each other out the side of their eyes, and you see their beaks stretch into a grin as they turn their heads back towards you and say, all right, then, you want to make this a challenge, little chucky? Well, the challenge is what you gotta get. Just, mind out for the people down below, as they're gonna run and jump across as well, and that's a nat 20.
All right.
They make this look effortless. In fact, it's almost as if they just kind of, it's almost as if they don't even jump and run. They just kind of walk off and just plop onto the next branch over. Somehow, you don't, it's like, have you seen those older movies where they jump on a plank, a board plank, and then splash into water kind of thing?
Yeah.
Basically, Eenie Miney and Mo go up to the edge of this branch, which is just very slowly leaning towards the ground, and it looks, the tension in this branch looks as if it's going to fling them up and over, and they just kind of adjust their weight slightly, and they give one gentle push down on the end of this branch, and it flings them up into the air, and you just hear and you can't see them. In fact, you're kind of just sort of waiting a little bit for them to come down. It takes about like a minute before you actually do see them start to float towards you. Because Eenie actually has a thing wrapped around the feather hairs he's got. He's got a ring of featherlight. So they're just gonna,
I remember this.
Mary Poppins their way down towards you, and you're just gonna hear, and you can just see the middle head is just whistling little tune as they make their way down towards you.
Well, first of all, TUC's just going to take a sec to just be like, you know what, that was red as fuck. And then they're going to, during that minute that they are up above them in the world so high, they're going to try to hide again.
Oh, cool. Right, roll stealth, roll perception. Oh,
that's a 4.
Man.
Yeah.
Pine leaves are especially green this time of year, huh? Against your black and red background of a.
Yeah, that's. I think that like they like try, chicken instincts kick in, and they like get like they sort of like down low, and they're like, okay, I'm still on a tree branch. I should just move. And they'll use their they'll use 80 feet of movement to get out of the tree.
80 foot?
And just sort of start making their way away from here, because they're still floating. They can't run yet.
Oh man, that's a good point. And as you jump down from that tree, you hear a, you can't do that, that's cheap. Yeah, we don't tell me yet. Come on, at least do this fair, come on. As you jump down this tree, or I imagine you just like run like a dust cloud is just behind you that goes down the trunk of this tree, and now you're just on the bottom of it. And Eenie Miney and Mo.
Oh, 1 sec.
Oh, go ahead.
I am the most popular little villain in the world, huh? My cat is now here.
Hello, cat. Welcome. Your wonderful parent is just jumped out of the tree as a chicken, and then out on the floor, and the three-headed other bird chasing him is very annoyed by this. Come on, there's there.
I think they actually. I'm gonna roll an insight check to see what books the remaining two would like.
Oh.
Because they have one for one of them.
Okay.
21.
Okay. Well, from what you've observed from them, admittedly, the first time you met them, you didn't get a super great outlook on who likes what kind of thing, but you do remember that Middlehead Miney, they seem like the adventuring sort. They seem like the kind of person that likes quick action, quick pace, fast pace, go 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 sort of feeling. And you think probably for that kind of person, they don't seem like the kind of person who's patient enough to read like a full kind of novel. So you get the impression perhaps maybe like a comic book or like something with illustrations and pictures would probably be better for that head. And as for Mo, they're quite quiet, so they're probably a little more difficult to figure out. But as you were hiding under the table, you did kind of see his shadow kind of lean over a bit more towards like theory books. Like there was like a little science section, and like some people are very strange and they put like psychology and theory and philosophy in the same section, which is weird because you shouldn't put philosophy and science right next to each other. That's a very strange, unless you're having philosophical science, which is a whole different breed of thing, which is very huge and you shouldn't touch it. Yeah, you get the feeling that particular head kind of probably likes thinking a lot. They seem like the one that does the most deep thought stuff. So
Okay. I want you to know that I am now holding my cat like a Tommy gun.
yes, good.
Okay, so I think that they pick out I think that they pick out a extremely old looking comic book that um they recognize from when their girl was reading and doing things, and sometimes she and her best friend would come out and read aloud to the chickens. So they're going to find that, and they're just, yeah, this one. And then they go over and they find a textbook. I think they find, like, those like old 1940s textbooks that's like an introduction to thermodynamics with an, like very eye in the definitive, like, except it's like an intro, like Psych 101 book.
Yeah.
I think they have to push through a bunch of those to get to like man, I do nothing but talk to STEM majors all day for work. What can I think of? I'm gonna say it's one of Professor Woodleg's books on uh toon psychology and colors. Like what you can tell about a toon based off their design, and the history of that, how some practitioners have been biased, some have made the mistake of thinking that color theory is a universal, like
Yeah. Okay.
they pick those out. And again, they overpay for both because they know that things are going to get crazy, and they would just rather people not call the cops.
I would say as you overpay, you hand your money over to I'm gonna say it was the sheep too from earlier, that Eenie Miney and Mo barged into, that you hand this money over to, and it looks at you and says, well, I suppose if anything does get damaged, this will help pay for the damages, or, well, at least it'll help pay for the drinks I'm gonna have afterwards. And they pop it with a chink into the bottomless, into the pot they have, and they say, well, I hope you enjoy those books, and you do us a little favor, and, And they just kind of like gesture with a little hoof kind of towards the exit. It's like, you wouldn't mind just making your way out of here, with those three. And as they say this, you hear "Oi, what are you doing down there?" No, he's actually paid for those ones. Yeah, no, I saw he actually did pay for those ones. Yes, but what are you doing? Stop! We need we need to comprehend, we need to apprehend you. Would you stop? And they are just very. You actually see as you turn around, and you just see they are slowly making their way down towards you, but with feather, it's like essentially featherfall's been cast on them with this ring, and it's just you just hear a. You see their legs spinning in the air as they're trying to run towards you, but they're in the air. They can't make it towards you. They have to wait till they hit the ground. You know when they do hit the ground, they're ready to go. So
they very quickly shove the two other books into their camera space. They give the sheep team a little salute, and then they fucking book it.
I like it.
They climb, like they scale a hedge. I'll roll athletics for that to see how well they do it. And they hop over. There's a little creek that appears to run through the center of town. They hop over that. And then there's sort of this like park area. There's like a gazebo. You can probably walk to like some municipal buildings. But there's just a big green grassy area, perfect for like running around or whatever else you might want to do.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll to see how quickly they do all this because they're sort of like. Sorry, my cat is doing his best to wrap around my head like a scarf. Get down!
Cat scarf. Yourself your own personal kitty scarf now. Made with
Oh
real
boy.
cat. In fact, it's an actual cat. By cats.
God.
Yeah.
You're terrible. You little creature. Okay.
I love you, little creature. Love you, Kibby. Love you, little creature.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to go with athletics.
Go for it.
21. I'm actually going to roll. I'm going to roll again to see if they crit because they're a barbarian. They do get advantage.
Go for it.
We're going to go with the 21. But yeah, I think with the 21, they get through these obstacles, and they have enough time to survey the park, and there's a little playground, and there's a merry-go-round, and they're just going to settle in the middle of the merry-go-round.
Oh no.
In a little potato shape, and they're just gonna wait.
Oh no. Alright, okay. So, let me just do something very quickly.
Wait, there's one more thing I want them to do.
Yeah?
They pull out a blanket and they pull out a handful of looks like rocks. And as they wait, they're just going to tie rocks in the corners of the blanket so that it's almost like, if you think about it, like a weighted net. And they're going to ready in action, and they're going to wait.
Oh my god. Okay. You do that then, and Right, okay. Cool. As you do that, Eenie Miney and Mo have kind of seen you go they've seen you walk away or run quite furiously away from the Yep.
I'm sorry. I know that this has already been an absolute goddamn mess in FPS. Do you mind if I take a quick break to make sure that my chickens are inside the coop?
Yeah, no,
I just realized that the light is fading.
No, you're good. Absolutely, go do that. It's fine. This FPS is just gonna be things happen all the time. Sometimes. Yeah, just go do your thing. I will do my best to keep y'all occupied. So
FPS with an intermission. I sincerely apologize, guys.
You're good. You go do your thing. It's all good.
Love you.
Love you too, Arthur. See you in a bit, man. Hello, wonderful gallery. How are you doing? How have you been enjoying this absolute cluster? Custom Henhouse. Yes, yeah, magic, pretty much. Yep. Yes, hello, Comet. Thank you for joining us. Essentially, basically, the OC has just aggroed Eenie Miney and Mo because of reasons. They want a book they wanted, and they don't like that. They wanted that book, and now it's just a matter of principle for Eenie Miney and Mo to just get this pecking chicken. Honestly, like they are just they don't respect the tenacity and the gumption of this chicken to not only buy a book that they were after, but then run away, climb a damn tree, jump from that tree to another tree, and then freaking book it away from them at mega speed. Um, and then yeah, no, they're just friggin' just try. I don't even know what they're doing at this point. I don't think they know what they're doing at this point. To imply they know what they're doing is frankly slightly offensive to two of them, and then to the other one, it's just like, how could you ever doubt I know what I'm doing? I know what I'm doing at every moment of the day. It's these two that don't know what they're doing. Well, now that's a little cruel, don't you think, Eenie? Well, I mean, it's not, you know. What, you think he's not wrong? Well, I mean, you don't really tend to think first a lot, do you, Marnie? What? Excuse me, he said we. He didn't say I or Miney. He said we. So you're including that too, Mo. Well, I mean, I like to think a little bit more than you, Marnie. Oh, well, now that's just rich, isn't it? You're so generous to me, aren't you, Mo? Look, I'm just trying to say that.
Hi.
Hi. You came back to me self-RPing, man. I just got into it a little. They were having an argument and insulting each other, so...
Gosh, oh wait, I guess we should go with your recording then, because I don't think mine picked that up. Gosh darn it. Anyway.
That's alright. You're good.
Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. I ran down and then ran back.
That's alright. Take your time. If you need to, have a glug. I'm trying to figure out at the moment how this is all going to go down, because they have been in the air. They were in the air, floating down, and trying in vain to steer themselves towards you frantically with their feet. As you ran up to the sheep toon, you paid for more books and you booked it in the opposite direction. Now, they kind of have tried to twirl their body around. I've got to roll something for this, because they're going to try and twirl their body around to face the right direction, so the feet can just go when they land. And I'm going to roll acrobatics for that. They are still floating. Let me hope this does something. Yeah, okay, you know what? The 14. Yeah, so it takes them. They're probably just like about 5 foot off the ground before they're facing the floor properly. And the minute they hit the ground, it's just and they leave a big old dust cloud behind. And unfortunately, that dust cloud does hit the sheep toon in the face, and it goes. I ask you not to break the booksale as they run away. Right. So, remind me, what did you do? You jumped over a stream, and I remember that. I'm gonna roll.
So there was a hedge between the library green and this public park.
Right.
Then there was a stream.
Right.
And then there was a big grassy field with no obstructions, and a chicken on a merry-go-round with a surprise.
Cool. I'm gonna roll athletics for that one, because that's not necessarily acrobatics. Oh, dirty 20. Considering that Eenie Miney and Mo have the athlete's background, this makes sense. They charge towards this hedge, and they just before they hit it, they crouch and they boing up without an issue. Do a little cool flip for Star Wars. They're up there, and they land back down, and they rush back onwards again. And as they get to the stream, they just clear this thing with ease, like just one hop, skip, and a jump. They're over, and then they're pushing across the field at quite a speed. And I am going to roll perception to see if they even know where you are as they're coming up to where you were. 17. I mean, is DOC hiding at all, or they're just vibing?
Nope.
Alright.
If anything, they have puffed themselves up to be a larger target. They the knife cat expression.
Yes. Oh my word.
Yes.
Oh, buddy. Oh, they see you, and all three heads just sort of like arrow towards you, and you hear like a, and you can see their feet starting to do that wind up thing, the blur motion wind up that they do, and look at you and say, "Oh, you better be ready for a heck of a walloping, chicken. We're not gonna let you go now. We've got you in our sights, and once we've got you, we're not letting you go until you give us back our book." And they just off straight towards you. No fort's head empty. They're gone. The head.
Mm. QC is going, instead of dodging, they're going to roll a grapple check. And my argument for they already have advantage, but for double advantage is that they're going to use this person is trying to hit them. They're not trying to get away yet. They're going to use this Eenie Miney and Mo's momentum against them.
Oh my gosh. Considering the fact that they're wearing the featherlight ring as well, this might be a very interesting time. Okay, what are you gonna do? Describe to me.
They're going to use their impromptu net that they made out of a blanket and some rocks. And they're going to try to bundle Eenie Miney Mo up using the merry-go-round to sort of like spin them.
Oh my god.
So that they are cocooned.
Okay. Would you say with that 17 that one of the heads as they were coming up would notice this?
One of them.
One of them. For once, I'm actually, you know what? I've got to roll. I've got to roll D3 because I need to know who it is. God damn it! It's Mo. It's always Mo. Mo is the observant one today. As they keep running towards it, Mo has a large grin on his face alongside Miney and Eenie, and as they come up towards it, Mo's grin just kind of suddenly drops, and he's like, fellas, I don't think this was a good idea. I'm nonsense, Mo, we got him now. They're in our sights, man. Don't let yourself down. And they just run. And, cool. What do you want me to roll here?
Well, a grapple check is my strength versus your acrobatics, which I know is pretty good for them.
That's not a 3, that's a 9, yeah. 14.
Alright.
Roll your strength.
Strength is control. Okay. An 11. And a 23.
Oh my word. Okay. With that 11 and 23.
So,
you go ahead.
So you hit this merry-go-round at record speeds, and of course, like it goes spinning, and there's, a cartoonish dust cloud and like a swirl of colors, like that one scene in Willy Wonka, you know the one.
Yeah.
And like there's a shot from outside where we just hear, assorted disgruntled bird noises, and then TSC hops out of the blur and patiently waits for the merry-go-round to stop. And Eenie, Miney, and Mo their heads are all poking out of a blanket cocoon. They have been effectively hogtied in very soft, blankety goodness.
Oh goodness, I've got to roll something here. Give me a
second. And they're sort of like they're laying on the merry-go-round, just going around and around and around.
Oh gosh. Okay, and then I'm gonna roll another thing here. That is a charisma. That's not what I want. That's what I want. Okay, cool. Okay, alright. That's interesting, that's good. So they're spinning around, and they rolled a 10 for their constitution save, which is to see how dizzy they got. I mean, after that whack, they're decently dizzy. You kind of see their heads go. You see their eyes are replaced with like the swirly eyes, and you just see them go. That was a bit of a tough ride there, Eenie. I think we maybe should have stayed down, don't you? Yes, I think maybe that wasn't perhaps exactly the smartest of ideas that we've had. Mo, and you house. I did warn you, fellas. You didn't listen. And they are starting to like wriggle themselves. They're trying to wriggle themselves out of this thing. But with that intelligence roll, they kind of just make it a little tighter and worse. They're like, "Man, stop kicking me! They're not my legs at the moment. Enie's the one kicking. I'm not the one kicking. You're not kicking. Stop kicking!" And they just wriggle, wriggle, wriggle. And as they keep wriggling, they just kind of sort of start to slump a little to the side. Um, and it looks like they're probably gonna fall over if they don't stop wiggling.
I think that TUC is going to wait until the part of the merry-go-round that has their head on top of it is facing them. And they'll stop the merry-go-round and just sort of look extremely satisfied with how this morning has gone. And they are going to pull out a bundle of books from their hammer space and wait for Eenie, Miney, and Mo to notice them. And they seem to be writing in their notebook.
Cool. Okay, cool. It takes probably like a couple of seconds because they're still kind of busy. They've got spirals for eyes at the moment. They're still mocking and poking each other and like, stop wiggling around so much. I don't feel good. Yes, well, that's because you didn't want us to stop jumping. No, you didn't stop jumping. I did say me to shut up. We're not feeling very good at the moment now. And just kind of see like a sort of shake as all three heads kind of do that little shake, and their eyes blink, 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 back to normal. And then they kind of look at you, and you said you're holding the books out, aren't you?
They've actually, they still have them tucked underneath the wing as they're reading. But they sort of glance up with like a fond sort of look.
I gotta roll insight, guys, please. At least you've got a mod in it. If you had a minus, I'd be upset. Oh, my word.
An 8.
An 8. They squint their eyes at you, and they just kind of. You see all three heads in unison kind of slowly cock to the side to look at you. You know how an eagle kind of cocks its head to the side and its pupil widens to look at you? That's basically what these three do. Their heads kind of cock to the side, and their just pupils just start to slightly expand because they're just like, what the heck was that about? And they're just like, well, gotta admit, as much as I hate to admit it, this was actually rather a good improvised trap, I have to admit. I haven't seen something like this, and I'm gonna roll. Actually, no, I'm not gonna roll that yet. You just see Eenie kind of wiggle his side of the body. I've not seen something quite like this. This is something. This is something. I think, like, they probably taught it at the guild, didn't they? And you can roll insight on that if you want.
Sure. 22.
You see, as Mo mentions the guild, you see kind of a little kind of wince go across Eenie, Miney, and Mo's face before they shake their heads again and look at you and say, "Yeah, this is actually, I gotta admit, despite the whole thing, of running away and kind of climbing a tree and taking us on a merry Jerry holy moly ride. I mean, I gotta admit, it was actually kind of well, yeah, we haven't actually had anyone do that, at least not in an urban environment. We've not exactly had much practice, kind of around in the urban environments. In case you hadn't noticed, we're mostly, we're rangers, scouts, such things. Trust me, if you were out in the woods, we would have got you. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt in our minds. And as they say this, I'm gonna try and see. I'm gonna roll a strength.
TUC will hold up one page and they say, The woods, huh? And how about in a museum?
Okay. As you say that, at least before they read that, you hear like a as the blanket that was holding them, Eenie, Miney and Mo have taken their beaks. They've just kind of pulled and tugged, and you just see like the stitching go between the picnic, between the threads of this picnic blanket, and it just shreds apart as they pull it apart with their beaks and kind of
Mm-hmm.
stand up and do a little shake. Is like the full body like feathery butt shake. And they do a little inspection of themselves to make sure everything's in one piece because that's very important. And
When
then
they look back at the chicken, they have underneath a bit about the museum written, "You will, of course, be replacing that as Juniper made it for me."
oh no. Okay, I'm gonna roll history with advantage here. Because guys, please. That's a 16. Oh, jeez. You see, it's like a dot, 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 and there's like a dot above each head as they look at you. They look back at each other, they look at the blanket, and they look at you, and then they're like, "Oh, Pet, you're that little you're the Tupperware chicken, aren't you? Bugger." And they just kind of um
That's the new thing that TOC stands for: Tupperware over chicken.
Tupperware chicken. It's a new method, fellas. And they just look kind of embarrassed and shuffle around, and they say, "Look, we didn't know that it was oh, jeez, hang on, there's no, let's see if we can do something about this. Miley,
They
hang on just a second." And
they wave them off before they can go too deep down that hole, and they hold up their notebook and they say, "It's fine, but you're fine, Mo dear. But you two need to work on looking before you leap." And with that, they present them with the three books, one for each head.
okay, you can roll an insight again if you'd like on this, and I'm just gonna. All three are just kind of look at each other and very slowly. Okay, you do see
Above a 10.
there is a slight bit of confusion on their faces, but I mean that's you know they're probably just a little bit confused as to why you bought books and are not giving them to them. Like probably that's kind of the impression you get, that they're just a little confused why you're giving them a book. After everything, they just kind of chased you around. And they kind of look at each other
I
and like,
mean,
hmm?
you can roll insight on the chicken.
Oh, rolling so on the chicken. I don't expect much because of them. It's an 11, of course.
And then 11, I mean, they're hard to like, get a read on. They're a chicken. Um, but, they have been regarding you with sort of a very particular expression. Like, it's very warm, it's very knowing. Like, it's not grandparentish, but I mean, it could be grandparentish. Like, the sort of someone who's had a lot of fun, and is now having more fun doing something positive.
Okay. I want to carry on with the insight you had before. Uh, they they kind of reach out with one foot and gently grasp all three of the books you bought for them, and they hold them up and they just kind of look at them and don't. You see, kind of like their brows furrow a little bit as they look at these books and don't say anything, but you do see them look from one to each other, or they look between each other, and then you do see like a little subtle little nod before they uh, take the books. They take one in each mouth, and then you see all three mouths kind of bend backwards over themselves, over the back, and you hear just like a ruffle, ruffle, ruffle as they tuck them back into the ruff. And I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll some bits. Cool. That's that. Okay. And yes, good. That's what I wanted.
Oh boy.
All right. Cool. So, what happens is you see Eenie comes back from his rough. He hasn't got a book in his mouth anymore. He has got a needle and a thread. You don't see Miney's head come out yet, but you do see Mo comes back out, and Mo's holding like a box of some sort, and he just kind of pops out on the floor, and you just hear like a loud clang coming from the middle head, and I'm gonna roll 5. What is that? Brilliant. Okay, you're gonna hear a rummage, and you're gonna see the head pop back out with a, and it has Miney has a scroll in their mouth, and you can just about make out in faded writing. It says H. Actually, can POC read at this moment in time?
I'm going to say, because they had a spectacular afternoon, they feel like they just had a bonding experience almost. Okay. I'm going to say yes.
Cool. Okay. So it might take you a little bit, and you get that little bit because Miney is very confused. He's just kind of, huh? And you do see written on the side of the scroll, you see HM02 written on the side of it. And you see Miney shake his head like, no, that's not it. And you see the head go back over and back over to back. And
HM02.
HM02.
M02.
Yes. By the way, how high do I have to roll before I stop fumbling? I don't actually know.
After the first one, it's 5.
Okay. So that is going to be. Okay, so I would get it on this one then because I rolled a 10. Cool. So you hear another kind of rummaging noise coming from Miney's ruff, and then he pops his head back out, and alongside the needle and thread from Eenie and the little box from Mo, you see Miney has pulled out what looks like little patches of leather, and then they look at you, and Mo says, "Well, considering you got us those books, which by the way, thanks for that, I guess." Yes, you didn't have to do that. I didn't really know you're buying us for us. I just thought you were being a bit of a prick. And kind of turn around. Mo very gently picks up the ripped stitches of this blanket, and you can see that it's not ripped completely apart. It was just ripped enough that they could kind of get out of it. And you see Mo kind of, Eenie Miney Mo kind of with a metal boing as they sit on the edge of this roundabout. And Mo kind of pulls the sheet over the side because they don't really have a lot of space in the front of them to rest it. They can't really rest it on their legs because of the way they bend. And you hear the as Miney drops the pieces of leather onto the side of the merry-go-round and looks to TOC and says, "Well, I mean, a favour for a favour, I suppose. You got us those books, and we didn't actually know this was like a vicious sort of thing. To be fair, you shouldn't have used a precious blanket to try and trick someone. Shut it, Tiny. Anyhow, yeah, we'll help you fix it up if you like." And
roll an insight on the chicken.
Cool. 21.
A 21.
Damn, fellas.
I am aghast that this is what. Okay. They, when you say favor for a favor, like you sort of make it an exchange, they look actually like they're sort of tamping down like an offended reaction. Like they're not with a 21, you can actually see them like, you know, do the, you know, it's fine. It's, you know, different cultures. They obviously didn't mean it that way,
Mm.
but you can actually see them like when you first say it, be like, oh, okay, I well, I never.
Oh man. Um, as you, I'm gonna say with that 21, Mo at the moment is a little busy doing something, so it's actually gonna be Eenie that sees this, and Eenie looks at you and says, "Ah, right, no, hang on, just a second. Actually, and Enie's just gonna kind of hold out the needle and thread to Miney, who's just gonna shrug his part of the neck and take it and go back towards the blanket and have a look at that. And Enie's gonna look towards you and say, "Look, no, we don't. It's not like we don't appreciate what you did, and we know it's not so much a favor for favor, so much as what you call it, Mo? What's it called? And Mo's just kind of poking at something that he brought out. It looks like a little box. You're not quite sure. Things like it's like karma, isn't it? You know, like a good thing deserves another good thing. Yes, yes, karma. That's it. It's like karma sort of thing. You know, you done a good thing, and in turn, that good thing should be passed on, except instead of passing on, it's kind of cycling back towards you, which I suppose that's also karma, isn't it? Oh, yes, it's kind of a part of karma. It's been debated by many different people what the actual definition of karma is. There's a lot of debates in the community about whether karma is actually the cycle of good and bad, or whether karma is just the spreading of negative energies to others or positive energies to others. And he's sort of rattling on about this as he's poking at a box. And
Mm.
POC, could you? How close are you to these guys?
I'm in conversational distance.
Conversational. Okay.
Um,
So could you make me a deck save at advantage then, please?
absolutely.
Please, thank you. Um,
All
I will
right,
also
so
say you
that
get this
is.
because Mo looks at you and says, "Oh, little TOC, wasn't it? Yeah, it was TOC, I believe. Yeah, you're gonna want to probably stand back a little bit for this." And Mo taps the top of the box. Oh,
Oh, that's a 10.
oh, oh,
I mean,
TOC.
they definitely take a step back. Apparently, wasn't enough of a step because they've got short little damn legs.
TOC. Basically, what happens is you hear like a clink as this box slowly tilts open with the lid, and nothing happens for like a second, and then you just hear like a rumbling noise, and then suddenly it's like and suddenly layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of boxes and little compartments and trinkets and such just come flying out of this box in an overlaying like a layered stack of boxes and compartments just spiral out of this one little part, and you can see as this thing kind of, you do get kind of like knocked a little by a box, and it pushes you back. You kind of just get pushed back a little bit, because this thing just spirals out from this one center box compartment, and it just sort of spirals out into a load of different box compartments. And these box compartments have a lot of things. There are like little stickers, there are ribbons, there are like, there seems to be some sort of color placements, there's brooches, there are little rings, like there's old grey, like green rings of age, and there are new sparkling like gemstone costume jewelry. There's a lot of stuff in here, and Mo has basically pulled out their disguise kit, and it has a lot of stuff in it. And they're gonna turn towards you. Eenie is Mo's actually gonna stick his head into some of these compartments and say, "All right, let's see what we've got. We've got some more. Should find the spools of thread in there somewhere." And he's just gonna kind of have a bit of a dig. And Inie's gonna turn towards you and say, "Well, I don't suppose, considering see we're the ones that broke it, so we'll fix it. But this is also something that's important to you. So if you wanted," and kind of gestures towards the blanket and just gives you a questioning look.
They they recover from that excessive amount of boxes. Um, and they look at the blanket and they go, "It There are no favors amidst family, but I will not turn down a good turn."
Oh, hang on. You can roll a quick insight on that. And I
Sure.
needed to add 3 to that, so that is 19. Oh, 18.
Hell,
I will say
do
with
they have any sort of advantage?
yeah, you know what? Yeah, go ahead.
25.
25. When you say family, you see them kind of tense up a little, and you see Mo's head just kind of freeze as it's going through looking, and you see Miney's head as it's bending over looking at the blanket. You see that head just kind of freeze, and then you see Eenie doesn't seem to have reacted to that, but you see there's a slight shift in the corners of his eyes, and he says, "Family, right? Yes, family, right? Yes, of course. Well, I suppose if that's yes, if you anyhow, if you wanted to, and just gonna breeze by that and gesture towards the blanket. Yeah, that's what they're offering basically. Do you want to come help fix the blanket?"
Yeah. I mean, I will say they haven't sewn a damn thing in their life, but
Um,
I mean, it involves pointy objects. That's pretty great. Um,
shall we?
I
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I Well, I think that's maybe where we call it is, them rounding off,
Yeah.
they went to the book sale, they ran around, now they're doing some arts and crafts. That's a pretty, it, there are worse afternoons to spend with a new grandparent.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you want to do one last roll each of the sleight of hand to see how well this blanket gets patched back up?
oh, why not?
One last go. Oh, that's pretty decent.
That's a nat one.
Oh, POC. Well, like you
Take a
said.
tick.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
All
Okay.
right, you have it covered. You look over and you see his it seems to have entangled themselves in thread. And they're
Oh.
they're just sort of like, yep.
Um. Mo, Miney isn't actually going to say a word. And Miney's going to pass off the needle and thread to Mo, and he's just going to very gently go over and just like snip, snip, snip bits of thread you've got yourself tangled in. And with the 25, I'm going to say he does this incredibly delicately. And you actually do kind of the impression. This isn't the first time he's had to do something like this. And he snips it all off and says, "Right, maybe instead of actually doing the thread part, you choose what bits you want to put actually onto the blanket, and we'll sew them up for you." And you do see, they seem to be pretty damn skilled at. They seem pretty damn used to patching things like this up. This blanket has been sewed up pretty damn well. Um, it's up to
Yeah.
you. It's up to you what is added to this thing. Like it could be ribbons, it could be sequins, it could be stickers, it could be like weird little patches, or just like it's up to you. I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, they fix up your blanket. They hand it back to TOC, and with a very quick farewell, they're probably just going to head off again.
Mm. Okay. I mean, they get, the usual, like, it's semi-threatening, don't be a stranger talk. You know the one.
Yeah.
But I think that our last scene before we pan out is the blanket itself.
Hmm.
It, like, the two sides of it are, like a nice knit pattern, with indicative of the fact that Juniper is a very good knitter.
Yeah.
And down the middle is sort of this interesting quilted thing that's been sewn in between the two ends. And it's almost like stained glass, but done in, fabrics. And it is, greens, a little bit of gray, and and then a brown trunk, and it is a pine tree.
Aw, that's adorable. I love that.
Mm. And we have 5 minutes before the next FPS, so I think
Yes.
that we do actually need to call it now.
Yes, we're calling it now. Thank you, people, for listening live. This was a mess, but also a fun mess. I loved it.
It was a
Thank
beautiful mess.
Thank you for playing with me, Orpha. It was delightful, and thank you for people in the future listening. It had a bit of a rocky start, but we got places. Things happened for sure. And yeah,
Nonsense. It was delightful.
absolutely delightful,
Delightful, I say.
wonderful, beautiful, delightful. As is Orpha, the wonderful,
Ah,
beautiful player of mine, my wonderful, beautiful companion in this. Yes, thank you,
all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. My
flatterer.
gosh.
Flatterer me. But yes, anyway, thank you and farewell, everyone. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye.